we should be able to see different help based on some different items that we pick here on the right. We have dynamic actions, which are basically actions that are performed when we click or on specific events. There's some processing that can occur on the page itself. So after we submit any validating. So this is actually a flow that occurs, and we can put specific actions or specific processing to take place at specific times in our page loading or page processing. And then we have shared components. Now, shared components are special. They're components that are shared across the different pages and even across different applications sometimes. And so we'll see what shared components are in a bit. The first thing we want to do is actually add some content to the page. So we're going to actually click on the regions area, and we're going to click, and I did a right click. We're going to click create region, and what we'll see here is basically a new region. Now what we want to do is we want to get out of this help section. We want to go straight to grid layout, and what we see is we see a layout for our page. That layout includes some of the header information, content body, and then our footer. If we wanted to go ahead and include a region, let's say we want to add basically a footer, some footer content, we can go ahead and do that. We can right click on the, actually we'll click on this new section and we'll drag it down into our footer. Okay, so now we're in a region that is located in the footer. And I don't know if you've noticed, but this actually changed when I did that. If we move it back out of and put it in the header, now it's showing up here at the header. We can go back down, put it in the breadcrumbs area, but we won't do that. We'll actually put it in the footer. And what we're going to do is we'll put some text in here. We can put some text that is basically the copyright line. So let's go ahead and do that. Copyright 2014. And we'll save it. And let's run that. So I saved my changes on the page, and I'm going to rerun. And now I see a section down here. And it actually has some content. But what I notice is it's got even the title of the region. So let me use my quick edit, go straight back into that, and let's actually change it's what's called a template. Let's change it to be a blank region with attributes, and let's see what that does. So what that really does is if we inspect this item, we're actually getting just a blank div with some crazy unique ID and then our content. Let's go back into that and let's actually give it a good ID. And we'll use quick edit to get there. Now, what I notice here is there's a lot of different properties for this one region. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on help because I need some help with some of these items. So what is the title? Well, I can click on help and I can see what the title is. If you have any need for knowing what any of these properties are, you can see that. Now the other thing I notice is there's a couple of buttons up here. One of the buttons is show the common properties. So that's just going to show me the things that are, I guess, most commonly changed or modified. And then I could see all. And I actually prefer all. You can collapse everything down, and the properties are separated into different sections. So if I'm just interested in the identification ones, if I'm interested in the appearance, so I have different options with regards to that. Now I can also go straight into a particular item by using this drop down. And I can actually keep the labels above or not. Now, what I want to do is I actually want to add a section to this page so that we actually see hello world here. And so instead, or in addition to all the content that is currently there, I'm going to add to the content body a region, and I'm going to click back on my grid layout, and that's in the content body. I'll add it actually to this left column here, and I will expand the options. And I'll go ahead and put some text in here. Let's grab some text. We'll grab lorem ipsum, and we'll go ahead and put that inside of this, and we'll run it. And so now we see that the left-hand column, which there's actually only one column, we actually have that. Now what I can do is I can add a second column. So let me edit my page, and we'll add in our content body, we'll add main content, we'll call it. And we'll paste in there. And now let's run there. So we actually have a couple of basically sections here. Now what we could do is, instead of having that set up like that, we could actually have these in the same area in two different columns. And so now we can actually see the layout here. We have our header information, breadcrumbs, and we'll talk about breadcrumbs and other shared components in a little bit. And then we have our content, and that's here. Now if we save that and run it, so now we can see that we can actually set up different layout basically. Now there's a couple of important or key properties related to the layout itself. And let me see if I can find it. Yep, it's under layout, and actually it's under grid. There's a couple of options here that says, do we want to start a new row? And here we're actually starting a new row, and we could say this one should be in column 1 and should span 3. And this one should be automatic and span the rest basically. And so let's go ahead and see what that looks like. We'll run that, and so now we see that we've got something on the left and then something in the middle, or on the rest of the side. Now what we can do is we can sub regions, so we can actually add sub-regions here. So we've got a sub-region in the main content. Let's call this our left. We'll give it a name. We'll call it links. And then here we actually we'll say this is a blank region. And now these will have their specific titles. So let's say new blog post 1. We'll save that, and then we'll add another subregion, and we'll call this new blog post 2. And then we'll go edit and I'm saving very often. You don't have to do that. I'm just, it's a kind of a habit. Now what I can do here is I could just put in some text, link 1, link 2. But we'll see that I actually have to do something special to have it basically render HTML rather than escaping the HTML. And so I'll talk about that in a second. But you can see our page is kind of coming together. I need to take out the text from the main content. So we'll save that, run it, and that should, yep. Now there's a lot of other options. This is kind of like a way to get our feet wet. In the next video, we'll look at a couple of other options for actually working with data in a very simple application. Thanks.